back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for like videos like this. And you got lucky, buddy, because it was snack time.
A video that was surfacing throughout the internet, and it was about a jinn who had interrupted a conversation on live TV.
Oh, okay.
So live show where people call in and basically just ask questions and stuff. But this specific show is a Muslim show.
So it's not related to no spiritual stuff or no like scary stuff.
It's mainly focused on Islam, Muslim beliefs and stuff. And people call in to speak to the sheikh.
Okay.
I don't really know how to pronounce it. And his name is Abu Muhammad. A woman calls. At first it's a regular like conversation. But then stuff starts getting weird.
Allah's name on the left leg.
Oh,
Also,
on the edge right now.
Just keep watching.
I'm sorry, I can't speak now.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا. Give her the power to continue her speech, Ya Allah.
The visa, one for under my pillow,
Oh
one
my
to carry
god,
with
bro.
me.
Who created you and why? Huh?
She ended up saying bat.
Baal? B-A-A-L? The demon?
What they're saying that was a jinn, which it's not a demon, it's not an angel or anything like that. It's just another spirit that could choose whether it wants to be evil or whether it wants to do good.
Over here is Slade, so I do not claim any negative energy.
Have you ever wondered what the ripple is left from rockets flying through the atmosphere? A lot of people claim aliens rocketed the firmament.
But that's not correct. As you can see in Proverbs 25:3, as high as heaven and deep as earth, so the hearts of the kings are unsearchable. So what is it? The fifth element, ether or ether. This electromagnetic energy is all around us constantly and can be harnessed.
What's up, TikTok? So I'm doing an experiment that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's measuring the ether or the voltage in the air. And I've got a setup and a little bit of light left. I wanted to show y'all what I've got going on here. So I got my multimeter. The red lead is hooked up to the ground wire. I got the ground rod over there. Black lead is hooked up to a 50-foot spool of 26 gauge magnet wire. And it is actually hooked up to a carbon fiber rod that I sanded down and got bare copper touching it, hooked up to some balloons. So I'm going to be measuring. I have the wire marked at every 10 feet. And so I'm going to measure the voltage at 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, and 40 feet. So I'm going to document this, and I'll be posting the video in a few minutes. Okay, bye. What's up, TikTok? I currently have a set of balloons. I'm running out of daylight here, but I have a carbon rod hooked up to those balloons and the wire connected down to my multimeter. And it is grounded into my ground rod. I'm running out of daylight, but right now I'm about 30 feet in the air. I have the wire marked every 10 feet. I'm currently at 24, 27 volts. And I'll show you what happens when I start pulling it down. So right now, I have about 50 feet of wire that I can uncoil, but I'm not going to tonight. I'll do it when I have more daylight. But here's what happens when I start pulling it down. Now here it goes down. About 15 feet. Still about 10 feet. So as I pull it down, it gets less voltage that is absorbing from the atmosphere. Put that back on. So now we're at roughly 6 feet above my head, and now we'll let the wire go, and you can watch it climb. The higher you go up, the more energy you get. anyway, I'll make another video tomorrow when I have more light, but that's what they mean when you're harvesting energy from the ether. The higher you go up, the more voltage you get. That's AC current, 21.5 volts.
Once reaching a certain altitude, you will encounter a critical point in where the ether is so concentrated it transitions into a true superfluid. This claim is backed up by many years of research by many different institutions over the years, but not promoted because it goes against NASA's model and theory. The ether is responsible for celestial movement. Everything is suspended in the ether, not orbiting the sun. Even the ISS and satellites are suspended in this superfluid. Let me show you. When looking at the ISS orbit path and globe model, it seems random, and you will notice how it never flies over the poles. When observing the ISS orbit path on flat Earth model, you will notice it looks familiar. The magnetic field chart, almost as if it is an electromagnetic energy source. And the same free energy old world buildings would use in their advanced multi-purpose buildings. In conclusion, the ripples or waves are due to aircraft reaching the critical point where a normal sky transitions into a superfluid due to the concentration of etheric energy and causes a disruption or disturbance in the superfluid above.
They've been selling us free energy since Nikola Tesla.
Yo, it's flying a polo. I've never seen it do that.
And what time is it? It's show time.
I'm not sure what year this car is, but it's an old Ford, and probably in the 40s model. If you look at the front logo, you see the new logo from this new reality. But weird thing, if you walk around to the back and look at the back logo on the bumper, look at that. That's the residual reality from the old Ford logo. Notice, no hooky, no pigtail.
Did they use both logos or what? And the robot, hey, what did you just say about my motherboard?
I was 8 when I was brought here. We're brought here in the daytime. I don't like being here at all. I'm very stressed at the moment. This is probably the worst memory from my childhood. Like I said, there was at least 6 people. They were chanting. They were dressed in robes. I have a very clear memory of the silhouettes of them. So it must have been not too dark, or it's a full moon, something like that. And they're chanting to their pagan gods. And this is a rebirth ceremony. The side is called a ghoul. I was told that it would come to life once the lid was closed, or once I was in there. I believed this thing was going to come to life. They put the lid on top and it went completely dark. And I thought this thing was then grabbing me and suffocating me. I was screaming my head off. I was screaming as much as an 8-year-old could scream, as loud as I could scream. I was screaming for God. I was screaming, Jesus, help me. I was terrified beyond words. And I exhausted all the oxygen. in there. They left me in there too long. They didn't mean to. I woke up in the emergency room of Sutherland Hospital. There were nurses in shower caps. And one nurse, and I had a mask on my face, and one nurse said to me, "We nearly lost you." She was very warm, and then she said, "Mummy's here," and oh, my heart leapt. I thought my mum was there. I could see the door to my right. Wasn't Mummy, it was the red-headed witch that had helped lower me in the grave, the lover of Leonis Petriscus. I don't know what she was, whether she was the wife or whatever of the fat Engadine policeman. But she was a slim-built woman with very red hair, long red hair, and she had a black crucifix on a gold chain. And I remember looking at her and just thinking, that's not Mummy. But I couldn't say anything. And then Dr. Petriscus, or Dr. Mark, as I was made to call him throughout my younger years, released me into his care. And I was taken back to Engadine, I was taken back to Helen Holozak's house at 14 McAllister Avenue, and I was in there, and I remember being sitting in a chair, and I remember Leonis Petriscus just freaking out and pacing the room and talking in Polish to my grandmother, and they were all panicking and freaking out. And then I remember him subjecting me to unethical hypnosis and trying to make me forget the whole thing. I had a near-death experience during this. I went through a tunnel, and there was light at the end of the tunnel. I painted that tunnel on my bedroom wall at 40 Aringo Street, Budgewoi, and I told my mum that's the time tunnel. That's the Doctor Who time tunnel, and I knew it was the tunnel that I'd gone through when I died.
The famous tunnel. Would you go toward the light? And don't ask me why this is moving.
It's not just music. There is a price to pay for excessive amounts of fame. Sometimes the price is a humiliation ritual where they make the men like Pharrell, like Kid Cudi, dress up in women's clothing. Sometimes it takes a physical toll on the outward appearance. Look at Cynthia Erivo. Look at her when she was mildly successful, and look at her now. You can't tell me there has not been a physical transformation. So why should people be sending black coffins? They did the same for Tekashi 6ix9ine. So what people are saying is, there is a price for fame, you've paid it, and that's why you're crazy successful, or you have to pay it. And if you don't, we're gonna expose your business. People say it's just music, it's just entertainment. It's not. It's not. There is darkness involved in what some of these people have done, and now we all get to see it in our face.
The truth about Hollywood can be dark.
In 2017, on 4chan, there was an alien picture shared late at night. Within minutes, the server shut down and the picture was never ever seen again. I have looked far and wide for this elusive picture. People have said they have seen it and they described the picture. There's fake ones that have been put out there. The closest to a reconstruction of this is this picture here. There is another one which is more clear, but you can clearly see it's fake, but it's very similar to this, and this was being portrayed as being the real picture. It's not the real picture. I want that picture. Now, they say sharing a picture, you tell me a real reptilian picture that you think is a real reptilian picture. You'll do very well to find one. You'll see these greys and all these other type ones and you think, yeah, all right, that could be real. It's supposed to be really, really bad if you get a real picture of a reptilian and you share it. It's supposed to be really bad. I'm not saying it's true or anything like that, but apparently bad things happen to people that have shared real reptilian pictures. I don't know. But I tell you what, you find me this picture and I will share it, and I will tell you if something bad happens to me, because I want this picture. It's pissing me off that I can't find it. When someone sends me to find something, I'll find it within minutes, or I'll debunk stuff like that, but I cannot find this real picture. I can find you. You'll go and you'll look and you'll send me things, I know it, and you'll be like, oh, is this it? Is this it? No, the ones that like blurred vision, the blurred, and the one with the greenish shade, it's yellow. So if you see the greenish one, it's fake. You see all these other ones, it's fake. If it looks like a grey, it's fake. It's in the middle of a desert, it's got like a tree behind it, it's to the left, it's got like fungus on the mouth, yellowy skin, big eyes. If it looks something like that, like something like the recreation of this picture, it potentially might be it, and you'll do well to find it. You might have to do some dark web, deep web searching for this, because I don't tend to do that anymore, but fucking find me that picture. Pissing me off. And you can search everywhere, you can go Reddit, wherever you think that all these people, experts, they don't have this picture, they cannot find this picture.
And that did cross my mind, to be honest.
We also have the head of Pfizer here, so I want to thank him. One of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He just loved the crowd's reaction.
Кто ты, воин? Ахиллес. Сын Пелея. Ахиллес. Я помню это имя.
Quick fungus removal treatment.
Wow, so your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
So you could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
I love the way you put that.
Wow.
And it's called manifestation.
You see Hoover Street here. Officials say it's one of the most dangerous streets in all of Los Angeles. And now...
And now we got proof. That was just mind-blowing.
Ay, pero es grande. Yo creía que era un aparato, parece un aparato. ¡Ay, mi madre! ¡Ay, yo me voy!
And someone keeps updating Earth.
I'm trying to buy Ben & Jerry, because if you know, you know, right? Peep this. Tillamook's, no problemo, right? Reese's, whatever, no problemo, right? Any of these, right? No problemo, right? Hold on 1 second, Gordo. Hold on 1 second, Gordo. But the minute you come and buy Ben & Jerry or pick Ben & Jerry, bro, They got them joints locked.
And they're taking it to the next level.
What's the significance of that?
Say, people throughout Africa believe that the original human beings either came from Orion or the gods for whom read the Chitauli and many other alien nasties actually come from that constellation. We call it the constellation of Umhambi, the one who travels very, very far away. And we call this constellation also the constellation of Matsieng, the giant who was sent by God to this earth to create the first human beings. Matsieng was accompanied by a male lion with a very black mane, and he was also accompanied by his dog. And he traveled throughout the world. He first created the first race of human beings, and they were so stupid in appearance that he buried them alive in a cave, and then he created the next race of human beings, which was clever, and we are the descendants of that race.
Turn on the disposal or wait and pray.
I'm not leaving my body going up like this. I'm leaving it going up like this, looking down.
You're seeing yourself?
Yeah, I'm seeing myself, and I'm still aware that I'm in the bed. It's like I'm in two places in the same time, and I'm not alone. There's something that sort of lifts me up. And I'm gonna draw it to you. So this thing that I see appears to me under this shape. It's called a keyhole shape, they call it. No eyes, no mouth, no, like this shape.
What color?
It was no color, just translucent. It's not like I could see it with my eyes. I was seeing it inside my head.
Right, you were perceiving it, yeah.
And it was communicating with me, not like I'm talking to, hi, how are you? Like in my head, like a airdrop, like it shook and shook. And everything he was thinking, I was receiving, and everything he was thinking, I was receiving. So it was like a connection, And as I'm going up, I see myself. I even see my friend. He was texting someone. And I told him, I'm like, after the adventure, I told him, I said, you were texting this person. And he said, how did you know? I said, I went over your shoulder, man. I saw it. And I'm lifting. And I go through the ceiling. I see the house. And I'm like, to the opposite of what happened a few minutes before, the first time when I didn't want to lose control. Now I feel very confident because this thing is carrying me, and I feel like the best feeling in the world. Safe, love, successful, confident. Like I feel like I'm in the top emotionally. Like I feel like I'm like the best feeling in the world. Not physically like high, but mentally, like, man, feel like in perfect harmony. And as I'm going up, I'm like, who are you? Who are you? And it says, I'm you and everybody in the same time. I'm the air you breathe and the water you drink. And it didn't say it through my mind. And as I'm going up, I see the town where I am. I see the planet. Then it made me understand that it says to me, like, I know why you're here. You're curious to know about what is consciousness, and I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show you what is consciousness. And then I see the map, the planet, the solar system. It's like I'm going out. Like I zoom out, from where I was, and I see the entire thing. And I see the galaxies, the universe, the different dimension. To the point that at one point I'm like, I can't explain.
It's too much.
Okay, it's too much. I can't take it anymore. It's like please, I don't want to know more. I just can't take it. And it was very weird. I'm the one who who sort of tell him, is like, and the whole time this thing is with me, sort of guiding me. I'm in a feeling of harmony, and I'm telling it, I'm like, is it only for this adventure? Will you leave me after this? Or he's like, no, I'm gonna be always with you, and when things doesn't go well, close your eyes and remember me. Always gonna be there. Even after this adventure ends, I'm always there with you. And I'm like, okay. And then it sort of says to me, it's like, now that you know what you came for, I would like to share something with you. There is a lot of time that you do things that you don't realize that you hurt people. I'm like, okay. And it's like, I'm gonna show you things, but after you've seen it, it's up to you to make the effort to change, because I cannot make the effort for you. You have to make the effort if you want to change and become better. I'm like, okay. This thing made me sort of go through the perspective of the person that I was hurting.
Wow.
And live the emotion of that person live when I did that. I live it, and now I understand. Like a mirror, like if I would have done it to myself. And I felt the emotion running through. It made me very sensitive about stuff that I've done. I call certain people and I apologize to them. I thought they would have find it weird that I called them, but a lot of them, they were like, they're like, oh, thank you very much. I mean, you come a long way, and I appreciate you realize, and it means a lot. And it sort of made peace. I made peace with it, and it felt great. Towards the end, this thing again, I always pointed out, it's like, now, George, I know you hold grudge, a lot of anger. You grew up with a lot of anger. It served you for what you did for your fighting, but now you have to learn how to let it go. It says to me, it's like, you're gonna have to do like a detox, and it will manifest physically. I start feeling a little bit sort of sick, and I have a bucket, and I felt very good. But now, my friend, I dive down deep. I'm on the bathroom, in the liquid, comes out crying and throwing up. Please, I can't take it. And it comes back to me, lift me up. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, go back in it. And then I cry, and it comes back, it lift me back up. Okay, we have to go back. It's almost done. Okay, I'm doing it again. Okay, go. When it was done, man, I felt so light. It felt so good, physically and mentally. How do I know this experience is real? After, when I'm done. I asked it, I say, how would I know? And it says to me, I will give you a gift that only you will know. And I didn't realize what it was, the gift, but now I know. I used to be scared of height, like crazy scared of height. Even when I go up in a building, I look down, I feel like it shake me to my core. But now I know, since my experience, I don't have that feeling anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah, I swear it's true.
So that's like a personal...
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a personal confirmation that what I live is real. From my ayahuasca adventure also is the fact that I'm under the impression that consciousness is something that linked everything together. That we're all ones in the same time, that we're all different.
Yeah.
And we're all one in this God experience.
Who translated the King James Authorized Version? Rosicrucians and Freemasons. Yeah, and once you understand, wait a minute, the Bible is a Masonic book. Of course it's a Masonic book. How many people know that these symbols in Islam are taken directly out of the Old Testament Bible? And that Mecca is the black cube of Freemasonry. Mecca is a black square. Look it up. The planet Saturn. Saturn was referred to as the black cube. And the more they pray, the more blood is spilled. The more violence and bloodshed builds each day. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And the more they pray, the worse it gets. And Christians all over the world are praying to God's Son, the light of the world, and they have no idea what they're praying to. They have no concept of the world, of what they're praying to, and consequently, all of the evil is winning. Good people are losing. Knights Templars, Masonic, Freemasons are winning. They're controlling the world. Why? Because we're worshiping the wrong God. Because we don't understand what the symbols mean. Because we walk right past the truth sitting right in front of us and end up worshiping something that the Knights Templars have given us to worship. And therefore, we haven't got the faintest idea in the world what's going on.
Você tá na Colômbia, fi. Ó, tá cheio, mano. Cheio. Ó, puta, mano.
Tá cheio pra caramba.
And I wish you had a tripod.
Take this piece off here, and put it over here. And now you see, the United States is no longer in the middle of the map.
Right.
Now, I did this with a major record company in New York City, I think in 1970. And an older man stood up in the back of the room and said, "Now, Elliot, you've gone too far." I said, "What's your problem?" You can't do that with the map." I said, "Well, actually you can." He said, "No, the United States isn't in the middle of the map anymore." I said, "The United States never was in the middle of the map. You need to realize this depends on how you draw your map." And then I pointed this little fact out to him. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
Even though it doesn't really look like it.
No, it is. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
It's crazy.
Now, according to your social studies teachers, what is the equator? Halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on this map would be right about here.
Right.
And that means that Iowa has a semi-tropical climate. Well, you've been in Minnesota in the wintertime.
I've been in Iowa too. It's definitely
You know that it doesn't have a tropical climate. So you have to then introduce a real version of the map of the world. That's what this is doing.
That's very good.
The Peters projection map. The sizes on this map are right. The shapes are distorted.
Wow.
Look at Greenland on this map. Right there. See it?
Yeah, it's really tiny.
See how small that is?
Right.
Look at it on the Mercator projection.
So why do they do that? I don't understand.
Why? Because the Pope commissioned Mercator to make a map that shows the spread of Christianity. So all the countries in which there are predominantly white people are larger than those in the southern part of the world, halfway between the North Pole and South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have children going to school and they're seeing this map,
Pilots only use the Gleason map. Ask yourself why. Not one, but 2 fighter jets. Very suspicious.
Yeah, only in Jamaica with the bad boy. What is that thing? The bomb up that thing, you know, watch it. Happy now, happy!
Jamaica is not a real place.
Got the goddamn Lamborghini. What the is this? What the got the goddamn Lamborghini wagon? What the
That's a bored genie.
А что они еще кушают?
Мясо, в основном мясо. Фрукты. Вот сейчас арбуз купили сегодня. Вот все, вот вам
Хорошего вечера. До свидания.
And that's a raven from a different timeline. Oof, prayers up, guys. What?
Let's just say Russia has some of the craziest stories.
Wild.
Some old Earth there. But there's this lake there called Lake Baikal. And it is, I found this out, the deepest freshwater lake on Earth.
How deep?
Over 5,000 feet deep.
That's almost 2 miles.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's crazy. 5,000 feet.
Yes.
How big is it?
It's huge. You should look it up.
It's crazy. You could just be on a
You're going to
boat.
hate this lake even more.
Good. Let's go. But it's down there.
You're about to find out.
No.
1982.
Okay.
This is a classified document that got released to the public in 2000. Was it 2000? Yeah, 2000. And it was in the Soviet government, like a classified document. So these Soviet divers in 1982 were doing these diving routines or whatever in Lake Baikal, and they're down was it 52 meters or something, 100 or 50 meters, 164 feet down. And then all of a sudden, out of the depths, they said there were these 6 humanoid creatures. And they described them as wearing these tight metallic looking suits, 9 feet tall, and wearing like these like weird jelly helmets.
So they're just floating in the water.
They just come up as they're like here, and they just come up.
Scariest possible thing you could see at that moment, for sure.
And what these divers decided to do, apparently as like a, what the heck is that? They like had a net or something. And so they tried to catch one of them. And then like all these things did something to where it caused this force field and shot all these divers up to the surface like almost instantly. They all got the bends.
Oh no.
It was 7 divers. 3 of them ended up dying.
Oh my gosh.
And then the rest were basically silenced from ever speaking about what happened.
Why? Because they were so traumatized, or they were
No, it was
bends,
classified.
Like, oh, I see.
Like so, like it was like the Soviet Union did not want anyone to know what they saw.
So who was this team? Who like
just these Soviet Navy divers?
They are from the government, the Soviet government.
And they were down there, and these humanoid creatures came up, tried to catch one, and then they just like boom, got shot up to the surface.
That's terrifying. Do you think that's the first time they ever went down there?
No.
I was gonna say, because that seems like a test, almost like,
yeah,
let's send these guys down there.
There's reports even today of craft coming out of the lake, like in orbs and stuff coming out of the lake, and also people constantly disappearing around the lake, which would make sense. It's a huge lake. I mean, ginormous, and it's in Siberia. It's very remote, and it's one of the deepest lakes. It's typically frozen the good majority of the year, but apparently, I think this was a story too from the same lake. Like it's so big that they're actually able to test submarines within it, and this one submarine on their sonar picked up these objects. I think it was actually 6 objects that were coming towards them at like, they said it was like 400 miles an hour. And so they turned, and it like matched the path of the submarine.
And they're watching it on the screen.
On the sonar. It was like in a formation.
Yeah.
And they're like, go up. And so the submarine breached, right? They came up to the surface, and then they used the, what do you call it? The little
telescope thing?
I forget what it's called. The thing that they look out to see the surface. And these things just popped up out of the water and just shot off in the distance.
Are we stuck reincarnating on this planet?
Excuse me, one moment. I have to wait for the laughter on my side to die down.
I know it's a dumb question, but...
It is not a dumb question. It is, however,
I keep
simply...
coming back here, and I don't really like it here.
That's all right. It is simply an Earth question, but it's not a dumb question.
Okay. Well, I've had
one moment.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
All right, now, no one is ever stuck, first of all. True. You make choices, and there are consequences to choices. The idea may be that sometimes an individual, if they do not have an awareness that they have a choice, may in a sense cause themselves an experience called an immediate reincarnation, because they don't necessarily know there is anywhere else to go.
That's true.
But you are not stuck.
Okay.
The idea is that everything you do is the result of some type of choice or some type of belief system or some type of perspective.
Okay.
Now, first and foremost, you must understand that, again, with regard to the actual nature of space-time, reincarnation is really ultimately a misnomer, because time is an illusion. There is really no past, really no future. There is only now. So what you all call past lives, reincarnation, and so forth, is actually simultaneous, multiple, concurrent incarnations all going on right now. But they're on different wavelengths, different frequencies, so you don't perceive one another. Similar to the analogy of your television programs, where at any given moment, you know there are a multitude of programs all existing at the same time, but you only get the one you happen to be tuned to at that moment. And you don't perceive the others until you change the channel. So the idea is that all your lives are going on right now, no matter where they are or when they are, they're all going on right now. They all coexist on different frequency bandwidths. So in that sense, it's not about being stuck and coming back, stuck and coming back. They're all going on right now. And whatever connections you are making to other lives, you are making from this one. And in each life, whatever connections they may make to other lives, they are making from those lives. There's no true linear connection of one life that actually literally results from another life. That's an illusion. Do you understand?
Oh, I know that.
So, the belief system that you are stuck in that sense is what connects you to the idea of reincarnation in the way that reinforces the idea of being stuck. You follow me? Mm-hmm. So, also getting in touch with what there is to love about the experience you are having on Earth will also help loosen up your ability to perceive that you always have a choice. Does that make some sense?
Yes.
And everything is happening right here, right now.
Don't use the title G-O-D for the Most High Yahuwah. When you call on G-O-D, you're calling on the fallen angel named Gadriel. Gadriel in short would be Gad or God. Gadriel is a fallen angel who deceived Eve in the garden, disguised as the serpent. Enoch talks about him in chapter 69 verse 6. The name of the third is Gadriel. He discovered every stroke of death to the children of men. He seduced Chua or Eve and discovered to the children of men the instruments of death, the coat of mail, the shield, and the sword for slaughter, every instrument of death to the children of men. From his hand was derived to them who dwell upon the earth from that period forever. Some of you are gonna say, nuh-uh, but if I just use a capital G-O-D instead of a lowercase G-O-D, then he'll know what I mean. Bro, you're really gonna disrespect the Most High like that? We'll see how that works for you come Judgment Day. Gadriel translates to God is my helper. That's where Gad comes in for God. Gadriel is also the Babylonian deity of fortune. You know who else is a deity for fortune? Baal, also known as Baal-Gad. I go in great detail in my other videos if you guys want to check that out. The prophet Isaiah actually talks about this god of fortune in chapter 65, verse 11. But ye are they that forsake Yahuwah, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for Gad, and that furnish the drink offering to Manai. Yahuwah also goes on to say, therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer, and when I spoke, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that where I delight not. We need to be calling on the true name of the Most High Yahuwah, and stop using these pagan titles for the Most High. The Most High was set apart, and when you call him by these pagan titles, he's not set apart anymore, and you bring his name to naught. His name is not Lord or God, and that's why in Matthew it says, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and cast out devils, and done many wonderful works in your name? And Yahushua will profess unto them, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity, you workers of lawlessness, you Torahless people. Study to show yourself approved, people, and don't be deceived. Your salvation depends on it.
Some knowledge. Don't forget to share, guys.
No noise, no heat, no vibration, no pollution. The Searle Effect Generator. The perfect machine.
As you build this, when you find out that it runs without friction, it runs without a governor, it will accept any load and meet it. It will dive down in temperature at one point if you build it correctly and actually levitate and actually lift off the earth, developing its own gravitational field. When you see all these things and you realize that this is a perfect machine. It is an entity. It's the closest thing to a living thing that man can make.
Does John Searle have the answer? Is John Searle's invention the point of impact between the question, what if there is a machine that could save mankind, and the answer, the Searle effect generator?
People say, well, you can't do this. You're going to upset the entire world economy. The whole economy is based on oil, and it works, they're saying. Well, it works very well for the people who are running the economy, but not necessarily for everyone else. I still maintain that it will not ruin the economy. It will be a very strong paradigm shift, much the same as the shift from horse and buggy to automobile.
Surely this point of impact would produce energy of its own, human energy, emotional energy, joy, relief, hope, wonder, or perhaps the darker side of human emotions, greed, hate, and jealousy.
All these years I've learned one thing: you can't trust anyone with this technology. They want to steal it. And any worker seeing this and find out how it works could sell it to another company for millions.
Because this, too, is the Searle effect. Put simply, quantum mechanics is the study of the relationship between energy and matter.
And we want more, please.
Isn't that crazy? This is the vehicle they had in the Soviet Union back in 1917. Doesn't that look like the Cybertruck?
I apologize for knocking on your door this time. I'm not from here. I'm from Culpeper, Virginia. I just moved down here. My Uber put in the wrong address and dropped me off at this address for my friends. This is not my friend's address. I don't know where I'm at. Is there any way I could please, can you charge my laptop so I can order another Uber? I have anxiety. I don't know anything about back here. I just need to charge my laptop so I can order an Uber, sir.
And you're out here by yourself?
I'm out here by myself, sir. By myself.
You know you're in a crack neighborhood.
I'm in a crack neighborhood?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, sir. I'm from Culpeper, Virginia. I'm not from out here. Yes, sir. Jesus Christ.
I can't help you.
Is there any way you could just take it and charge it? I will sit on the road. I'm out here myself. I have a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old.
A crack neighborhood. He said it on purpose.
Okay, here we go. This is a story of how I met Michael, the Archangel, in New Orleans, and I have receipts. This was 1995 at the Maiden Voyage on Bourbon Street. In fact, I can tell you exactly when it was from his drink receipt. It was Saturday, November the 11th, 1995 at 8:27 p.m. when he walked in and got a drink. And that drink was a Heineken. Y'all, I remember so many things, so many details about meeting this person 29 years ago, a stranger. I've kept these for 29 years. He made such an impact on me. This is so crazy. I can't believe I am telling y'all this story. Okay, when he came in, I noticed him immediately. He sat down kind of in the middle of the room. The Maiden Voyage is a strip club, by the way, if you haven't caught on to that yet. I went over, said hello, introduced myself, asked if he wanted to dance. But no, he was so polite, and he just said no thank you. And I never did this. I just asked, well, can I sit down for a minute and, maybe hang out? He was already drinking his Heineken at the time. And we got into a conversation. And when I tell you, this man's eyes were mesmerizing, okay? At some point in the first few minutes, he says to me, I am the angel Michael. And I remember thinking in the back of my head, oh no, I've got a crazy one here. But his mannerisms were not of a person who was, having mental issues. And we started talking about God and Jesus, and he wrote some notes, and he just grabbed the receipt to write some notes, okay? I'm going to share those with you, but he was wearing white pants and a white shirt, not unusual necessarily in New Orleans, but even though it's November, not necessarily unusual. He had a boat captain's hat. Okay, but hang on a second. Instead of the wheel in the middle of the boat captain's hat, he had a sand dollar in the middle. He had a beautiful face, even though I wouldn't call him like attractive. He wasn't, like a hot guy. It wasn't that. He had a beautiful face. and he had curly blonde hair, like ringlet curly, and it was probably like that long. Okay, I probably can't decipher all of what he wrote on this one. He was showing the star here. Don't get freaked out. He was just writing a star because that was his symbol why he was drinking a Heineken. And he wrote also manifestation, and he wrote man/infestation. And then he wrote God, occult, and Satan. And we had a conversation about that. I don't remember all the details of that one. And then on the other side, he wrote top of change, in God we trust, like in I guess we were talking about money. And then he wrote about how to do Bible, ask a question of the Bible. I'm going to show you these, okay? Write down a question, say a prayer in faith for personal revelation through prayer, through the Bible, put your hand on the page and interpret the answer. Okay, I'll show you all of these. We had a pleasant conversation. I was just like, is this guy starting a cult? Like, I am so mesmerized by this guy. I get called onto stage, had to go back to work and do stuff. I look over at him occasionally, and there are girls everywhere, sitting all around him, just sitting talking. Like everybody, all the girls are just drawn to this guy. And I watched from afar and just thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? There's a crazy fool in here saying he's the Archangel Michael. And here I am just staring at him, and all the other girls are intrigued with him. Like, what is going on? Okay, there is one question I asked Michael it was a skeptical question, and I asked him, why are you here? And I cannot tell you the answer. I just can't tell you. Like, I don't know why I can't tell you, but I can't tell you. But he told me, and I can't say it. What the fuck? Okay, so towards the end of the night, I guess, I see that he's about to leave. And just something in me, I had to go tell him bye. I couldn't let him leave without saying something. And so I ran over there and I said, Michael, if it's really you, put in a good word for me. And he smiled and said, you're in. And I don't know why. After 29 years, I can remember the look on his face and the feeling that I felt when he said that to me. So here is the note he wrote with man infestation, occult, God, Satan. And this is the actual receipt that says top change in God we trust. And there's the address, 225 Bourbon Street, Maiden Voyage Limited. He had a beer. It was $6.25. And there's the date and the time. Also, no cameras or recording devices. This is the duplicate of the same receipt. And then this was what he wrote down to find the answer to a question in the Bible. So, there you go. That's the story. So, was it Michael? I don't know. You tell me.
Was it a vampire, a fallen angel, or Michael himself?
Spirit, when they become spirit, they cannot do anything anymore. When people are leaking energy, those spirits come into the outside aura that leaking, they will suck this energy. So the people lose more energy. Some people, when they are very tired, no energy, they actually can see the aura have a lot of hole, so many leaking energy. So they said, we leak out life force. Need to build up the strong aura so the energy is not leaking. When leaking, people get sick and very exhausted and no energy.
Sometimes it's better just to listen.
I don't know who's gonna get this, but one day, me and my homie, we was in the car and we was just talking about being spiritual beings, right? And how on the other side of this 3D, like in the different dimensions, how we're beings of light, right? And I was telling him how I was able to discern like different people. I don't know how I'm able to do it, but I can just like see somebody and know that they're not a person. I don't know. But nonetheless, we were in the car, we were at the park, we was talking, right? And I was telling him how I can see, or I can tell when people aren't really like people. At this same exact time, there was this lady that was walking by, or she was walking towards like the car, right? She wasn't walking towards the car, but she was walking, mind you, it's a park, so she's walking her dog. And as I'm telling him this, right, she comes and approaches the car, like she approaches the window, and she says, "Hey, what are you guys listening to?" Mind you, we were listening to music, we were just chilling in the car. This older white lady, she doesn't, I don't know who she is, right? But I'm telling bruh at this same time that I'm able to see or able to recognize demons or people that are not human. And then she walks up to the car. We tell her like, it was just a random song or whatever, whoop, and she says, "Oh, okay." And then she walks off and continues her walk. Now, I said, bruh, that was one of them. Legit, I said, bruh, that was one of them. And I kid you not, bruh, I felt like the tears in my eyes because I had no other explanation, but I knew that she knew that I knew. You feel what I'm saying? And that's why she walked up to the car to check my temperature to see if...
And he's not crazy. These types of conversations without being judged are needed.
Ship take off. When Elon Musk out had a rocket ship take off.
Yep.
They go straight up in the air, but then they curve. But then they curve and they go like this. And they keep on going like this until they get out of sight. And then they land right behind that wall. The wall I'm telling you about, because the earth flat. There's no such thing as up. Let's look at my mama. Yeah, ask your viewers about that.
Well, where did they land?
It land behind the ice wall. And the ice wall is where the sun don't reach. It's no light, it's completely dark. And that's like what really controlling the world, over there in the darkness. That's what I'm on. That a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
I just want to keep it real.
Have you ever been there before?
I just told you they won't let me go, right? They don't let nobody go, right? But like, everybody, all the elites, they been there, but I can't go. They won't let nobody go to Alaska. Go to Alaska right now, they're gonna stop you at a certain point to where you can't go. Because you can't get to the ice wall. They'll lock you in. So it's like two things you can't do. You can't get out the body and you can't get out the earth. You kind of like locked and locked. You locked in the earth and you locked in your body. That's what I want. I can't make this up.
Okay.
Can't make it up.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I can't make this shit up, Capone. I just gotta keep it real, right? A lot of people don't know. Yeah.
Well, did you see the Super Bowl performance from Kendrick Lamar?
I mean, I don't really like the Super Bowl because the same year every team win. You know. You ain't know that?
Nope.
Yeah, the NFL win every year. They make billions.
NFL win.
I say they win every year. I swear to God, mama, they win every year. And one thing about, like, Kendrick Lamar, like, that whole thing, it was kind of like
What was
crazy.
that beep?
That beep, I don't know, that probably was them telling you to watch what you talk about, right? Because yeah, they probably telling you watch what you talk about.
The camera didn't turn off?
No, did the camera go off, gang? No, we good. That was your end. Yeah, you be talking about some they probably don't want you to talk about. That's what, but let's keep talking about it. You want to talk about Kendrick Lamar? You don't want to talk about that because you don't know what's going on with that phone. You don't want that kind of shit on your platform. That's what I want.
No, let's talk about it.
Listen, you don't know what the A mean. You think the A mean A minor, don't you? Don't you? But a lowercase mean... I
do.
Yeah, a lowercase A mean Antichrist. That's what I got, mama. Listen, this the first ever Super Bowl in history a sitting president ever been in. Stop playing with me. and he had the A on. Y'all put that together.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, academics is saying that Drake wants to fight Kendrick Lamar.
You hear about academics almost killed himself? Yeah, he wanted to die. He was almost tired of doing content. I kind of wish he would, because he talked too much. That's my mama. But one thing about Drake is over with forever. Drake ain't coming back, right? So everybody can give it up, right? There's no coming back. Y'all quit saying Kendrick Lamar and Drake and all of this. That shit fake. They really just trying to stop everybody from knowing that the world is switching from the third dimension to the fourth. That a lot of people don't know. So all of that shit is just the trick, right? They don't want you to know the truth, Capone. You want to talk about the Super Bowl, but talk about how the world changed in front of your eyes. The planes is falling, Capone, right in front of your eyes. You want to talk about the Super Bowl? We switching from the third dimension to the fourth, and you talk about the Super Bowl. They put these tricks here for you to think about and forget about your soul, Capone. Stop playing with me. But you want to keep talking about the Super Bowl, Capone. I want to keep my soul. Stop playing with me, Capone. Come on, gang. You want me to lose my soul, gang? Stop playing with me.
Man.
Stop playing with me.
Is there a dark continent beyond the ice wall? And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.